and let us all do we can to build a better future.
All right, we got to talk about this Durham report. This Durham report that is kindly being brushed aside by the establishment media, by everyone who has a vote blue no matter who mindset, because the Durham report revealed that the entire thing of Russiagate and everything else was a one big waste of time. So, again, we need to understand that the media lied. The Durham report just shows how incompetent the FBI truly was. So let's go and pull this up right here. The GOP chair is speechless after a senior FBI official says she hasn't read the Durham report. What do you mean you haven't read it? So let's go ahead and pull up this article here. Republican lawmakers announced a senior FBI official during a hearing Tuesday after she said she hadn't read the special counsel John Durham's report on the agency's investigation to former President Donald Trump's alleged Russia ties. I'm honestly speechless at this point in time. And again, this is from Representative August Pfluger, chair of the Homeland Security Subcommittee on Counterterrorism. I just haven't had the time, Murphy explained when pressed on why she hadn't read the Durham report. You haven't made the time? You better make the time. That report's saying that your institution, your organization, your agency is incompetent. This is a sincere question. Does election collusion worry you? And again, this is what the representatives asked Murphy. I would highly recommend reading that because we spent 4 years discussing that. There were uncorroborated evidence. The Durham report significantly outlines the outcome of that. It's very disappointing to hear this. Now, in a 305-page report published May 15th, Durham offered a scathing assessment of the FBI's process and how it launched and carried out the investigation to Trump's ties with Russia, known as Crossfire Hurricane. That sounds like an awesome name for a horrible operation. Let's see. Murphy later told Representative Dan Bishop that she hadn't even been briefed on the Durham report. You got to be briefed on that. That report's saying you guys don't know jack, that you're just showing your wazoo to the sun. Why is that not a matter of such important? Why is that not a matter of such important that you would want urgently to understand what the special counsel concluded about the work of the counterintelligence division in such a grave case? And again, Murphy says, "Sir, if you'd like a brief on the Durham report from the counterintelligence division, I'm happy to take that back." And again, Representative Bishop says, "Wow, that almost sounds contemptuous." He later added, "I'm just without words that the FBI is unconcerned. Do you intend to read it?" And again, Murphy says, "I do intend to read it." You do intend to read it. You do intend to read it. Let's pull up this one here as well. Durham report. The FBI is just as bad as you feared, maybe worse. Again, let's close that video here. So again, Special Counsel John Durham has finally released his report looking at the origins of the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. If you believe there was or is a deep state of bureaucrats, Washington insiders, and power brokers who operate outside the law and do pretty much whatever they want, in this case, you were right. Chalk up 1 for the conspiracy theorists. Turns out, we know that there's a deep state. We know there's inside dealings happening. While Durham's report has lots of criticism to go around, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is one of his major concerns. Unfortunately, there are 2 other recent developments that amplify concerns about the FBI. It should be said that outset that I have known only a few FBI agents. Those agents were dedicated professionals. Oh boy, it's a little puff piece here and there. And great individuals. And I continue to believe the same could be said of the vast majority of rank and file agents. BS opinion piece. But going on, again, let's skip that paragraph again. It's like nothing but a little puff piece. Let's start with the Durham report since it's the most thorough and public. Recall that the Mueller report from the special counsel, Robert S. Mueller, looked into whether there were Russia government efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, which again proved false. Again, including if there were any coordinated efforts with members of the Trump campaign. Mueller found no such evidence. To which now I have to pull up this video here of former Representative Tulsi Gabbard talking about the Mueller report. It's just a short video. I won't be playing all of it in its full entirety, but I do encourage all of you to check it out when you do have the time. So shout out to, again, Tulsi Gabbard, who has wrongly been vilified by the establishment media and so much more.
Okay. Wow. Durham report comes out.
Yes.
Okay. Mainstream media, nobody even talks about it. Everybody else is like, wait a minute. Did you guys just see what happened here? Okay, this is a real thing. What was in the Durham report that people need to pay more attention to?
What I did see, first of all, from talking heads on MSNBC, and I believe even CNN, was they did talk about it, actually, maybe not much, but what they did say about it was a complete dismissal, that it was nothing of value, that it should not be paid attention to, that it was just more lies and more bias, et cetera, completely dismissing it and not actually addressing the substance of it. The one person who I would say was pretty fair in his analysis was Jake Tapper on CNN. When he talked about it, he had a fair interview on what was in the report, what wasn't in the report, and his own statement was that this was essentially an exoneration of Donald Trump. Fox News covered it, obviously.
We here in independent media have also covered it as well. Look, I just got to throw this out here. This whole thing of Russiagate was one big hoax, and it allowed the Democratic establishment and corporate media to convince a lot of brain dead and challenged individuals that think that somehow a foreign power was interfering in our elections. Guess what? The Supreme Court, thanks to Citizens United and McCutcheon's decision, opened the doors for anybody, and I mean anybody, to interfere in U.S. elections. Not just Russia, but the whole world, through secret third parties, subsidiaries, corporations, both foreign and domestic, can weigh in onto election. We've legalized bribery here. And it wasn't Donald Trump that gave a thumbs up to it. It was previous other Democratic and Republican administrations that paved the way for Citizens United and McCutcheon's decision. So anybody can buy a politician, vote blue no matter who. Even your own fantastic lawmakers. Again, I keep on promoting this Twitter page. Please check it out, Unusual Whales. And you will be furious and angry to know what your oh so fantastic U.S. House representative is doing, what your U.S. senator is doing, and how much of a huge financial killing they're doing in insider trading. I don't care what state you live in. To my fellow viewers in Georgia, or in my home state of Illinois, or in our neighbors next door, Indiana, or in California, or Hawaii, or Alaska. I don't care what state you live in. Go check out Unusual Whales and find out what your lawmaker is doing. And you'll realize that they're all doing insider trading. They're all becoming very, very rich. They're all convinced you to worry about a nothing burger like Russiagate or some other nothing thing. That's true. Go check it out. Go check it out and see just what our lawmakers are doing. A waste of time.
And I think overall, the major takeaway for people who don't have time to read the report or didn't catch it in the news is that it absolutely exposed the FBI. The FBI is being weaponized essentially by the Hillary Clinton camp. Barack Obama and his team were aware of it to go after and investigate and try to undermine Donald Trump's candidacy and presidency.
I want to read this from Washington Examiner, May 19. Durham report, 5 key takeaways from the bombshell findings into Trump-Russia investigation. No proper basis to launch Crossfire Hurricane. Durham report claims that Crossfire Hurricane, the Trump-Russia investigation, lacked a proper foundation due to the FBI's failure to conduct key source interviews, review its own databases, and apply standard analytical tools. 2, Hillary Clinton connections. The report indicates instances of FBI favoritism towards Hillary Clinton, including defensive briefings, ending an investigation due to illicit campaign funds, and restricted probes into the Clinton Foundation. Mark Elias, the Clinton campaign's general counsel, and Michael Sussman, his former Perkins Cole law firm colleagues, are criticized for their roles with Fusion GPS and Steele dossier. And then third, dossier on Russian disinformation. The report uncovers the use of unverified Steele report of Pfizer applications targeting former Trump campaign associate Carter Page. Intelligence might have compromised Steele's sources, and highlights that Igor Danchenko provided Steele with rumor and speculation. Number 4, no collusion. Durham's report suggests that absence of tangible collusion evidence at the onset of Crossfire Hurricane, while the FBI continuously upheld claims from Steele dossier disregarding contradiction information.
So many media outlets were promoting Russiagate. I mean, come on. You remember TYT talking about Mueller time? Everyone was saying, oh, the walls are closing in on Trump. the walls are closing in on Trump. No, Trump's going to build another floor and just climb out of that. He's going to climb out of that little trap. You don't put Trump in a trap. You never do that. You don't do that to Donald Trump because he'll crawl out of it. You can't do that. I know TYT was promoting it. Hell, Majority Report was promoting it. Everyone was talking about it. And it turns out that the FBI didn't do its job. They just screwed up. They screwed up. They screwed up.
Last but not least, no further crimes charged. The report culminated in only one guilty plea by ex-FBI lawyer Kevin Kleinsmith for document falsification, despite charges against Sussman and Danchenko, and report found no further criminal offenses. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because back in 2016, this is what Hillary Clinton said about you. Russia's grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far, just like Jill Stein did back in 2016. You responded, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption, and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long. I mean, you went gentle at her the way you did. So,
great tweet. By the way, just so you know, I had to like that tweet 30 plus times. I haven't seen that tweet in a while, so I got to double check if my like's still up there. I got to do that. I got to dig in my little treasure chest and see if that tweet's that like's been scrubbed or not. You know, it's kind of interesting. I never seen it before on Twitter where you have the opportunity to like a tweet more than once. That don't happen usually.
The reason why I'm kind of putting these two together is the following reason. One, a lot of smart people believed that Trump was tied to Russia. A lot of educated people, a lot of people that are professionals, they have degrees, they're smart. They're like, yeah, you know what? He is. And for 3 years, most of America actually believed it. And I know you try to sue Hillary Clinton, and I think that whole thing back and forth, 7 months later, whatever happened with that. But now Fox pays $787, to Dominion, and there's another 1.7 billion or 2.1 billion that's right now sitting with Smartmatic. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, do you not have any more where I feel like this is the part of Republicans where they screw up? You have something like this that just came out. Why not get lawyered up, create a fund of Americans that would want to fund this? Hey, this is how I would do it. Listen, guys, I'm not doing this alone. I'm not going to pay the legal fees. It's going to cost a lot of money. You really want this? If this hits $50 million on GoFundMe, we're going to go get the best lawyers and investigate every single thing Clinton.
I also want to pause here and just say, people have been bringing this up in the live stream chat. Notice how, how calm and poised Tulsi Gabbard is. If Kamala Harris was being interviewed or being, in this seat, do you know how many times she'd be cackling and laughing? It's kind of interesting. Just pointing it out there.
ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, everybody did. We will investigate it and we will show documentation of all our expenses, but we will not do it until it hits 50 million. You want it? Pay up. Pay some money to GoFundMe. Why isn't that happening? I feel like a lot of American people are sitting there saying, dude, all this shit, show some backbone, go fight, give a lawsuit, do something about it. You're not doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
It's a great question. Without any response or true accountability, there's no reason why this kind of thing wouldn't happen again. There's a reason why people believed all of it. It's a reason why people, when Hillary Clinton said that to me, my first reaction was like, this is
just a side note. I just had to, I actually got that tweet and I realized that my like has been scrubbed again for the Queen of Warmongers. Why did that happen?
So insane. It's laughable.
Were you expecting it at all when she said that? Of course not.
No, I wasn't.
Came out of left field.
Only reason I'm asking is like, were you hearing behind closed doors she was saying it to other people?
I knew that there were murmurs.
Okay.
Because I mean, look at what happened to Donald Trump. It became the go-to line when they didn't like what someone was saying. It was automatically like, okay, these are Russian talking points, or it became kind of that thing. I was not expecting, the former Secretary of State, former U.S. Senator, former First Lady, to spend the time talking about me in this light and smearing me and trying to cancel me. But the reason why people, and as I campaigned and I went out and talked to people, I was confronted sometimes angrily, sometimes very emotionally. This woman, I'll never forget, I was at a very small little Democratic Party event in a small rural county in South Carolina. And this woman who was the chair of that county Democratic Party came up to me. There's probably 50 people in the room. And she put her hands on my shoulder. And she was so serious, and her eyes were almost welling up with tears. And she said, I need to look you in the eyes and ask you, are you working for Putin?
Now, I'm going to stop it right here. You please check out the full video. Again, the video, this was the PBD podcast. You could check it out on their YouTube channel. Okay. That's what I would say for all of you to do. But again, this is what happens when you have a media establishment lie to the American people. People lose their ability to think critically. So shout out to everyone from Jimmy Dore, Russell Brand, Joe Rogan, all of you lovely people, RBN, Hardlands Media, Tulsi Gabbard, everyone else who's been calling out the utter hypocrisy and fraud that was Russiagate. Durham report reveals just how pathetic it all was. But if history is to be remembered, brace yourself for a whole new concoction of lies, especially as this 2024 election cycle begins to intensify, coming from corporate media, coming from the Democratic Party, and yes, even the Republican Party too, because both parties are inherently corrupt. Be prepared for the lies. Hey, BBC Verify. You guys like to verify and fact check. You ever going to call out the hypocrisy and fraud and lies that was Russiagate? No, I don't think so. If you want to find out what kind of Orwellian nightmare we're living in, let's go ahead and type on Twitter about BBC Verify. They give away the secret sauce. Be careful out there, folks. Keep your heads on the swivel and do not believe the lies from corporate media.